The reason I really love talking about this particular news segment is because I get to talk about Mortal Kombat. You see, I grew up with it, and as such, it has a special place in my heart. It used to be in a time when Mortal Kombat was incredibly edgy. So edgy, in fact, that they led to the creation of ESRB. And they liked throwing the middle finger in front of popular culture. See, back then, culture was made of religious people, moral, decent, upstanding Christians, and they didn't like violence in video games. Nor did they like boobies. And Mortal Kombat didn't care. They did exactly that. They showed violence and boobies. Nowadays, culture is dominated by moral, upstanding, progressive people who like violence but do not like boobies. And as such, Mortal Kombat decided to censor themselves. And the censorship is absolutely ridiculous. For example, Shiva is really lucky because she got She in the name. Otherwise, I would not know. It's not only that they decided to remove the boobies, which is one thing, whatever. The problem is that Sub-Zero is recognizable as Sub-Zero. Raiden is recognizable as Raiden. But who the fuck is this? A lot of the female cast are unrecognizable. And they made them all androgynous, strong jawlines, masculine features, short hair, broad shoulders. Like they pumped them with testosterone, pumped them really hard. The men, as I mentioned, you can still recognize them. You know, Kano is Kano, Johnny Cage is Johnny Cage. The men look okay. The women, they just made them look weird. Kind of interesting because Ronda Rousey gets to play Sonya, and her character in game looks nothing like Ronda Rousey. The actress, I guess, was an irrealistic depiction of women, as they like to say. But enough with me rambling and ranting. You know, you didn't come to hear this nonsense. You came to hear about the movie. So I watched the trailer, and the trailer actually has women in it. I was like, well, you know, this is a step up. And I do like it. I do like it. I like what they did with the story, that they're putting a modern spin on it. I wouldn't want to see the same rehashed story over and over again, because I saw it back when I was a kid. And then I saw it again in the Mortal Kombat 9 story, which, by the way, at the time was excellent. A fighting game having a story was just like, wow. So okay, fine. Like they're doing this in the present day, and it's a little bit weird though when you see Kano shooting a laser out of his eye. I mean, no, I get it. Like he's in the game, yeah, he can do that, but doesn't really fit with the modern version of the setting that they're going with. I mean, back in the previous Mortal Kombat, they also had Kano, and he didn't have a laser out of his eye, and Liu Kang couldn't shoot a fireball. So, you know, it's just like interesting, just pointing it out there. I'm curious to see how they will get around doing that. I mean, maybe it fits. Maybe it will work. A lot of people are complaining because, oh, you see Sonya beating a guy, and it's like, yeah, but it's Mortal Kombat. You know, it's supposed to be cheesy. It's supposed to be over the top. Like, I don't mind. If the movie doesn't take itself too seriously, then it's completely fine. I don't care. Jezebel, however, seems to have a question. And this is exactly what's wrong with journalism today. And I'll tell you what's wrong with journalism today. Because you think it's like, V is pointing out that Jezebel doesn't know about Mortal Kombat. And it's like, okay, you know, that's fine. I mean, they got a team of people, right? They got an editor. They got other people that are fact-checking the story. So, you know, it's excusable if they get something wrong. I mean, if they get something wrong about video games, what else do they get about wrong? Well, whatever. That doesn't matter. That's not the point. You know, it's understandable. This person doesn't play video games. Fair enough. What I don't understand is, like, why the fuck do these publications that are multi-million-dollar in nature cannot just ask the developers when they have a dumb question? I mean, I'm pretty sure they can get Ed Boon on the line. Like, Ed Boon is a very progressive individual. He would like to appear in Jezebel. Why the fuck don't they ever call the developers? Did you notice that? They just make statements and they make criticism about something, and they usually apply intent, but they never just, like, call the person. Like, pick up the phone. Like, you don't even need that. You can even use Twitter in order to pick it up. Now, granted, like, this article isn't as bad as what Rita Sarkeesian used to write, because Rita Sarkeesian would be like, okay, this game has boobies, the developer hates men. It's like, how the fuck do you know that? Like, did you speak with him? Did you talk to him? Did you ask him for a cup of coffee? No, it's like that. That's what they're stating, right? So yeah, I mean, this is just a little bit of lazy journalism. Cinema is back, baby, and in a big way. I guess this is the type of person that buys AMC stocks, huh? Forget the author films award season where two people stand at the edge of the cliff somewhere in Great Britain, pinning each other, but never finding a way to make their relationship work. There is a new Mortal Kombat hitting HBO Max, and life is fucking good. I never understand like why these people feel the need to curse every single sentence. You should understand, like, is it more progressive when you curse? Like, my theory is that these people are adult children, that when you're a kid, you can't curse in home because mommy doesn't like it. So when you finally manage to get outside, you start cursing because you feel edgy. But the problem is, after a while, you realize that it's immature and it's actually more difficult to go through life and express yourself without cursing. Just pointing it out, cursing is fine if used sparingly. Like, the most scary thing is when a person that doesn't curse and one day he just says something and he's so upset that he does curse. Like, that is a lot more scary than a person that curses every time. And then cursing for humor, that's also good. But it's like, just, whatever. I'm complaining all the time. I'm an old man. Scorsese is shaking in his oversized spectacles, watching, probably for the 15th time, the trailer for the latest version that brings the life, the gore of the original video game. The trailer itself, I didn't see gore in the trailer, by the way. Just pointing it out. Is it? If there is, I missed it. The trailer itself is worthy of at least 2 Oscars for its special effects and stunt coordination. I thought that they were just clipping out every time they had a fight scene. Like, this is how you can tell if the actor... By the way, no, seriously. Serious talk now. This is how you can tell if the actors are good at choreographing and if they're good at putting a decent fight scene than if they're not. If you see a lot of cutaways in a fight scene... I mean, go watch Batwoman or something like that, okay? They throw a punch, and then they cut away to the other guy, and he blocks a punch, and then they cut away to the actress, and she throws a kick. And that's really bad. A good fight scene is one that allows the action to flow without without cutting the camera constantly. Cutting the camera means that an actor did a mistake or they just don't know how to fight. So they're doing a kick, and then someone does a punch, and it's just like cuts, because the actor has no idea how to do choreography. The trailer is worthy of 2 Oscars. Wow. Especially for the previous scene where a Sub-Zero turns his enemy blood into a knife. What? I mean, clearly this person did not play the game if they are really impressed by that. But I remember the time when I used to be impressed by such small things, but I guess I'm really spoiled now. I actually play the video games. But being the astute film critic that I am, I immediately clocked glaring error in the film. Where in all the realms is Chun-Li? Did you see why they did that? Because it's Mortal Kombat and they get realms and it's like, where in the realms is Chun-Li? Oh, so cultured, so critic, so wow. If there is a battle for the fate of the earth, then we need all the greatest warriors gathered, which would include Chun-Li and her spinning bird kick that can knock a man's head clean off. Why this sexism, though? Like, why can't she knock the head of a woman clean off? You know, like in these video games, you get female characters, you can find another female character. But Chun-Li is not even that strong. I mean, even in the Street Fighter universe, she is mid-tier at best. Which is kind of good, because that's how you make a good story. You know, you can't have everyone top tier. It creates more of a gravitas when she actually goes to fight against Bison. But as you guys probably figured out, Chun-Li is in Street Fighter. This is Mortal Kombat. A simple Google search could have done. But here's the thing, you know, like, this is why all of these publications started writing about feminism and social justice. Because they don't know what the fuck to write about. Imagine if you asked me to write about physics. I don't know how to write about physics, but I tell you what, like, I can write about the sexism in physics, and it's like, oh, this professor looked this way at this girl. We need to fire him, blah, blah, blah. So I think that's literally one of the reasons why they're doing identity politics, because they don't understand the medium. And why is it so difficult to actually hire a person that knows what they're talking about? I mean, surely at Jezebel, that publication, there must be one person that actually knows Mortal Kombat. A single person. And even if you don't know Mortal Kombat, you can actually just spend 15 minutes of our goddamn life to read about it. It's just my take. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the comment section.